butchering at home and do myself. I'm doing the carnivore diet, so I do a lot of bulk meat purchases. I did a live stream yesterday where I did a bunch of chuck roll. First time ever trying to butcher it. I wish I had this knife yesterday when butchering that chuck roll. I definitely want to check this knife out. But right now, this is what we have here. We have a Kershaw 12-inch fillet knife, and I will be providing Amazon affiliate links down in my description section. So if you want to click on that, you can definitely check this knife out. It's brand new, just arrived today, and I'm super excited to get this thing checked out and see how it goes. Now, another thing that I have here is something I haven't talked about a whole lot on my channel. But if you go to Costco Business Center, they have this type of meat right here. It's separate from their regular USDA choice and prime cuts. It's like over in the corner off to the side. If you live here in Anchorage, definitely cruise around the outside edge and check out this meat right here. The reason why I like it, for one, it's grass-fed New Zealand beef, succulent and full flavored, Silver Fern Farms New Zealand beef, 100% made of New Zealand. But what I like about this is it's $2 to $3 cheaper than buying the other type, the Costco traditional meat. And it also provides an amazing steak. So I love to buy this steak. And if we look at the prices over here, it's $107 for this piece. And it has the lip on, which means it has a lot more fat running right through here. Now that fat is what I need for the carnivore diet, because literally I eat the fat and I burn the fat as energy, unlike other people that use carbohydrates. So $107 for this, and it's 10.72 pounds, $9.99 a pound. So if I were to buy the other Costco ribeye USDA choice stuff, I'm looking at a price of approximately $12 a pound for a similar type of ribeye. Let's get into this knife. But yeah, that's an amazing knife there. And I apologize, I have to flip the screen around to face me, so everything is going to read backwards. So I wanted to make sure to get everything forward facing, recorded a little bit ahead of time. But I got to figure out how to get into this package. That's awesome. I mean, look at the size of this thing. Now, the reason I got this knife is because I already had a regular Kershaw fillet knife that I was using for butchering. But this one has a much larger blade. It's got a nice curve to it. I should be able to control the knife that much better. And I could already control the other knife pretty well. But since we're fishermen and the wife does a lot of fishing, it's nice to have extra knives on hand, especially for stuff like this. And now that I'm like a junior entry-level type butcher, yeah, why not? Just totally check it out. So 12-inch curved fillet knife. The total size of this entire knife is 17.7 inches from top to bottom. That's pretty amazing right there. Let's see, it's made out of steel. Let's see, satin finish. The blade itself, right here, is approximately 12 inches long from top to bottom. Go figure, 12-inch fillet knife. Let's see, the weight of it is about 8.8 ounces. And the nice thing I like about this knife is it comes with a blade protector. I do not like purchasing knives that do not have their own blade protector. Now, if I was thinking a little bit further ahead, I would have already had something in place to get this open, set up here at the table, but I don't do that here. I like to just kind of wing my live streams and get them out as quick as possible. So we're going to get the scissors out and start fumbling through the process of trying to open this package here. And then we have to eventually start filleting this yummy ribeye steak. And I'll show you step by step how I do that. And it's the best way to save money when you're buying bulk meats, is always go out and buy bulk meats. If you have a membership at Costco or Sam's Club, use it, please use it. All right. So one of the warnings on the back of the package here is be careful when opening this. Well, duh, it's got a very sharp knife in here. So yes, I have to be a little bit careful when opening it. Somehow I have managed through all the years to have never cut myself like severely with the fillet knife somehow. And I don't know why they package things in such a way to make it like physically dangerous to take out of the package. Oh. Check that out. Wow, it comes with a nice little point protector. That is awesome, especially for the people that work at the local stores, Amazon. That way they're not going to accidentally stab themselves, because years ago I got stabbed through one of these packages when I was working at a Walmart, and it was horribly painful. So that's nice to see. You know, they have a little bit of protection on the end there. It's just a little plastic piece. You can save it or remove it. There's really no need to keep that plastic piece. And the only reason I say that is because it has this handy dandy protector that comes inside the package. And these are incredibly useful. I don't need the package anymore, so it's going to go in the trash, along with that little tiny tip that was on here. But so far, the package did look a little beat up and dung up. Now, the knife blade itself doesn't look too bad. There's a little bit of moisture on it from setting it right here. But I need to clean this off. But the nice thing about this knife is it comes with this handy dandy sheath. And it's a hard plastic sheath, so there's no risk of me hurting myself with it. It goes on incredibly tight. I always had anxiety about pushing on the end, in like in case it just comes through and like, ow! But that is one of the tighter sheaths that I've ever had. There we go. This is what it looks like when it's all protected. Almost identical to the fillet knife that I have over here. And I'll show you that here in a little bit, the similarities. All right, let's take this back out. You have to pull pretty hard. And thankfully it's a really well-built sheath and there's no risk of me gripping it tight and cutting my hand. But when it comes out pretty fast. So yeah, let's cut up some meat, guys. All right, we're gonna head on over here to the kitchen sink. And I was smart enough to get some water already done. I did all the dishes, so you guys don't have to struggle through that part. Now a comparable knife that I was using, this is the regular fillet knife, which we typically use here in Alaska for just filleting fish. Now the reason I bought this is because we fish, and the other reason I bought this is because I needed a longer knife to butcher big chunks of meat like that over there on the table. So in the meantime, I'm gonna get you guys flipped around there, but this is what I got it soaking in the hot water. But as far as the length comparison of the two, they're kind of, this one's a little bit longer than this one. So this is probably right around a 10-inch fillet knife, and this is the 12-inch gigantuan fillet knife. Probably would be useful for filleting up like halibut or bigger fish that we catch out here in the Alaskan oceans. Now I already got my bags. They're already pre-opened. They're ready to go. These are just Kirkland run-of-the-mill inexpensive Ziploc bags. They're freezer bags. They're so much cheaper than the Ziploc bags, and that's what they look like. So if you go to Costco or you have any place that sells Kirkland products, you know, check these out. I just started using them yesterday, and so far I like them. And I forgot this bag over here because, yeah, I'm a newbie. But, all right, I have to quickly rinse off this knife right here and get it ready to go for the butchering process of what we're getting ready to do next. But again, this is the cheapest way for you to you know, save money eating steaks. If you're doing the carnivore diet or not, definitely go out and start purchasing bulk meat. Stop going to the grocery store and buying those individually wrapped steaks. It only takes a second to get this wiped off. All right, now all I need to do is dry that a little bit, and we should be in business here really fast. This is an awesome knife, guys. I've been waiting to get this knife, it seems like, for a month, and now it's finally here. I love it. The price of this knife is approximately $54 on Amazon, and if you can find it at your local store, it should be relatively close to $54 as well. But the reason I got it is because I like this curve in there. It gives me a nice curve. That way when I'm cutting the meat, I can just cut on through that. And I'll compare it side by side with this other one here, if I can like stop fumbling around with the camera. Like, okay, let's get this one out. So this is my previous fillet knife right here, and this is the new knife right here. Very similar handles, rubber handles. Both work extremely well for control. And if your hands are slippery, you want a rubber handle right here. It just makes it so much safer, especially when you're working with slippery fish or you're working with meat and your hands get a little bit slimy. chicken, poultry products too as well. You gotta have control. If you don't have control of the situation, then the product, just everything gets all screwed up and it's really hard. So let me get the sink set up here. So I like to take, I'll drain out all of this soapy water. I don't need that anymore. Because I'm going to use this part of the sink over here with the soapy water in it. That's where I typically set my meat in there and open the package. That way I can drain it off. I'll just get that, knock all the suds down real quick. Then we can start the rest of the process here. I never knew I would have, excuse me. When you talk a lot, you tend to get a little phlegm in the back of the throat. But I never knew that it was so much fun butchering your own meat. So one of the things I do is I take a wet rag and I'll set it right here. That way when I put my cutting board, it's not going to slip. I'm going to maintain control. That's the most important part about butchering your own meats, is having control. So, and thankfully this one here does fit on everything. And we're going to have to get this started. So the first thing I usually do is I just cut off the end right here. And then if I make a line right up the top of this, I can kind of start to get a really nice, that is a super sharp knife, guys. Look at that thing. It is just doing all the work for me. I am not doing anything. I'm just barely doing anything. All right, let's get that plastic out of there and thrown away. But yeah, I totally wasn't even putting any effort into that. So right out of the package, I was wondering that too. Is that going to be a super sharp knife? And right out of the package, it's an amazing knife. All right, now I need to get the rest of this off. Take a trip over here to the trash can. Throw that away real quick. Then I'm going to grab some paper towels. This paper towels is part of the process of getting this all to work correctly. All right. So first of all, I'm going to start patting this side dry, and then I'm going to lay this side down onto the cutting board. The more moisture you get off of this, the better and easier experience you're going to have when butchering and also packaging it after the fact. So we got that side mostly done. Let me do one more thing. I forgot this part because I'm doing a live stream. Okay, I need my rubber gloves. So rubber gloves are particularly handy. I do have, these are black Venom. They're called Venom rubber gloves. I think they sell them at Costco as well. You get a whole bunch of these. I've gone through a lot of these rubber gloves. I use them for all kinds of things in the house. You know, when the dog has an accident or, you know, sometimes makes a mess. It's nice to have rubber gloves on hand at all times. You know, plus we also went through COVID and all that crap, so. And I have heard that there's a new flu going around, and a lot of people are just sick right now. So, all right, we flipped it over. It's on the cutting board. We're going to center that up so it makes a little bit more sense. We're just going to take off that shine. And once that's done, I'm just going to flip it back over. Because if you cut through the fat cap first, it's so much easier to handle and everything cuts fine. That's just my experience with cutting meat. But as we can see here, that is a beautiful chunk of meat. And it's also halal. If you know what halal means, it just means it's killed a bit more humane. And I like that too. But it makes it's a very, very tender type beef. And it's got all of this fat marbling that runs through here. You got that nice fat right there. Go ahead and flip it over. This one has a very interesting fat cap compared to what I'm used to. But now we just start on one end and start working our way down. And then I like to do approximately a knuckle to here for most steaks. Sometimes I get a little bit thicker than that. So if you lay your thumb down on the piece of meat, you can have approximately an inch to an inch and a half. So maybe I got bigger thumbs than most people, but I can make one steak right there. So I did a forward slice first, and that cut through part of the fat cap. And now that this knife's got a nice little curve to it, I should be able to pull it all the way through in one easy motion, and I might have to just slightly touch up the very bottom of it. But let's see how it cuts. All right, so far so good. Okay, there's a little catch on some of the fat that's around the end there. But we're gonna try to pull this through and see how easy it is. Okay, it's not bad. It felt like it went through pretty good. Okay, there's a little bit of, didn't make it through the entire thing, but that makes, this is what a halal ribeye looks like. I mean, isn't that gorgeous? That is a beautiful chunk of meat there. It's about an inch, inch and a half thick. Like I said, I use my thumb for the measurement from here to here, and that gives me a really good ribeye steak. And that I can eat 1 or 2 of these in a meal. So that end's all squared up. This end is going to be the oddball because it's got a funny shape to it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut a little bit weird ribeye steak. And you never want to waste it. So the first cut is always a little bit back and then forward. And then when you come back through, it's just a pull. You just pull and press down. And since the knife has this nice curve to it, unlike my fillet knife, it should have worked. There we go. Look at that. Check that out. Isn't that gorgeous? That is a gorgeous piece of meat. But this is the end, so I'm going to have a little bit of round edges there. It doesn't matter. It's still an awesome steak. It's going to be completely edible. Now I can run down the whole thing like this and just keep cutting it. So first cut, pull back just a little bit, push forward, and then once you get up to the end, you want to push down into this fat cap right there. And I'm just simply pulling, and I have full control of the meat with this thumb. And I have full control of the knife because it has a very nice ergonomic handle. And that should have cut it all the way through. If not, there might just be a little bit left. Just run it through gently again. And it's important to have a really good sharp knife because you want the knife to do all the work for you. You don't want to have to be here sawing meat. You don't want to use a knife with a serrated edge. It's going to shred your meat. It's going to ruin it. So again, pull back, push forward, and now with my thumb right here, I'm just going to hold the meat in place, and I'm going to safely pull it through. And for a good measure, we'll try it twice. It went through the first time, and then we keep making yummy ribeye steaks just like that. And this is so inexpensive. Now, when we get done with this, I'll definitely figure out the math because we were, what, $107 for the entire 10 pounds. At about, $9.99 a pound. And this is a much better grass-fed, grass-finished type beef. And it's just magic. The type of steaks that it's creating. And on average, these are pretty close to a pound each. And my pile of meat is falling over. That sucks. All right, at least it didn't hit the floor. And even if it did hit the floor, I'd probably just rinse it off. Okay, one little piece. Whew, that cuts right through there. Nice and easy. Super duper nice knife here. I really, really like this knife. Right out of the package, it's ready to go. Just rinse it off. Wash it a little bit, of course. Because things happen in the manufacturing plant. And you just want to make sure everything is clean and sterilized before you start hacking into meat. Okay. I need one more cut on that because there were some pretty interesting bits in there. There we go, another ribeye, just like that. Now, if I were to go to the store and buy these, just like this for whatever weight this is, I'd be spending $23, per one. And right now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You guys do the math. $23 times 6. We're already up over the entire cost of this piece of meat. This is why it's so important to just go out and buy bulk meat. Get a good quality knife like this Kershaw knife here. Because you need full control when you're trying to butcher your own meats. You don't want to use regular kitchen knives. If that's all you have is regular kitchen knives to get by with, I understand. Sometimes, when I started, I had to use what I had on hand. And then one day I had an epiphany. I was like, I don't want to use like a regular chef's knife that comes in one of these inexpensive cooking blocks. So I went out and I bought that fillet knife to double duty. and hopefully give me a little bit more control, because I already had experience with the fillet knife. And personally, I didn't know that this knife right here was an option, you know, because I wasn't really in the market for buying like random new knives. So yeah, this is great. Then we'll count out how many steaks I have and approximately how much it's going to cost for every one of these. That one's a little thick. I got a little carried away there. But the most important part is kitchen safety, control, you know, with your knives. And this is going to be a weird one. So let's see. If I can get 2 more steaks out of that, that'll be good. So I'll cut this one a little bit on the thin side. And since I'm getting to the very small piece, this is going to require a little bit of extra work. I'm holding the outsides to control the meat. Now I'm going to push it out just a little bit. Now I'm going to cut right down, if it allows me to. Now I'm going to push, I'm going to pull just slightly. Full control the entire time, because you don't want to just go crazy with the knife. I know you see those crazy chef videos where guys are just, you know, doing stupid stuff with knives, you know, just to show off their knife skills, because they've been doing it for 30 years. But we're not at that point. We're just doing entry-level, junior type butchering, and trying not to butcher the last couple of steaks. These are going to be kind of small steaks, so that might be just one meal right there. Then we just fillet that open and we start working on the pieces that didn't quite cut through. And sometimes they're a little harder to get because you're at the end of the entire piece of meat. So there that is. Okay, Kershaw fillet knife. These are really, really thin, but they're going to be delicious. Like every one of them's delicious. So let's see, how many steaks do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. This is a weird one. 12, 13. So at $9.99 a pound, I got 13 ribeye steaks here to make for dinner. At this point, I can probably take off 1 glove and I can start working on packaging them in these Ziploc bags. Well, I'm sorry, they're not Ziplocs. Ziplocs a brand name. These are just Kirkland's freezer bags, and they tend to work really well. So since these steaks are a little bit smaller, I could probably fit a lot of these in each bag. And I'm to the point where I don't care what hand's getting dirty, because we're just packaging the meat. I can fit approximately 3 of these in per bag. We're just going to let them stack up right there. This is one of the thinner oddball cuts. This is a little thicker. This was one of the ends, so it's got a little bit of roundness to it, but when you put it in the air fryer, it's going to taste amazing. Cook them on a cast iron skillet. You cook them however you like. Some people like putting them in the oven. So that's approximately 3 meals per bag, because I eat 1 meal a day, typically 1 or 2 ribeyes a day. And so far, it's just been the best way to live life. Because it works. I mean, the carnivore diet, here, that's a thick, beautiful one there. That's amazing. But the carnivore diet in itself, it does what the people claim. You know, when they talk about all the health, nutritional value of eating red meat, the weight loss benefits that come along with doing the carnivore diet are just outstanding. If you want to check one of my playlists, I've been losing weight for about the almost 2 years. I think in May of this year will be my 2-year anniversary of weight loss. All right, we're going to put 2 in that bag, and we're going to put 2 in one more bag, just not to make it super confusing. Or we could do, you know what? We could put 1 in the air fryer. That would be great, right? We already got everything out. My hands are a little weird. We're going to take this glove off, rinse off a little bit. And then we're going to get 1 going in the air fryer. Well, we got that one going on. And then we can seal up all these bags and get them stashed away. But it's so nice to like come home and I know I have a freezer full of random yummy delicious meats. I also wanted to show off my Ninja double stack air fryer. And I love this air fryer because these baskets are interchangeable, unlike most dual basket air fryers. So this thing just works really well. And if you have, this one here is the top one that I usually use. But if you have these extra little bottom grates, I just store them in the bottom one, the one that I don't use most. So this one here, I can use this in the top basket, but since I'm just doing steaks all the time, I don't require that to be in there, and that's just one more thing to wash. So I just set it in there. There's good, it's out of the way. And it sits in here just in case I need it someday. But super versatile, doesn't take up a whole lot of space on our counter. That's the main reason I bought it in the first place. That, and it has these stainless steel racks, which most of them don't. All the other double side-by-side Ninja products, they don't typically come with those stainless steel metal grates, because especially for those people that are trying to keep the food off of Teflon coating, you know, that's kind of important. So, all right, how I season my steak. This is pretty much one of the only products that I use. Now, sometimes I use a little bit of cayenne pepper. The brand doesn't matter. Great Value tends to work just fine. So a little dash of cayenne pepper on before it goes in the air fryer, you know, creates a really lovely sensation. Now, if you want to season these evenly, you want to hold the salt up a little bit higher than just right down on it. So we flip that over, hold the salt up a little bit higher, just kind of let it naturally fall. You know, that's where the whole Salt Bay thing, you know, where he holds his arm up and he does that. He wants a certain height, you know, between where he releases the salt to fall on the steaks. That is the whole point of what he's doing when he's doing all that. He's just literally giving it an even spread of whatever salt that he's using. And now I'm just picking up some of the odd bits of salt, getting it on the edge, just like that. So when you're done, you have a steak that looks like that. You can let it rest. You don't have to let it rest. I never worried about that part. So now if I take a little bit of cayenne pepper and I just tap this on, and cayenne pepper is great for gut health. It works pretty good. You can do as little or next to none. But I'm not into these big crazy steak seasonings like I see a lot of people use. Just not interested in. For one, most of those steak seasonings have a bunch of crazy ingredients that really shouldn't be mixed up with one another. And it doesn't work really well for your gut health. In some cases, it kills gut biome. You don't want to do that. So we're going to put that at the top. Get this air fryer set up, which is super simple. So you press this power button down here. Next step is you hit the zone. We're using the top basket, so I choose one. Now I need to pick one of these options: air fry, reheat, bake, whatnot. So we're going to use air fry. This is the temperature button here. We're going to turn this up to 400 degrees, and unfortunately this one only goes up to 400 degrees. We're going to hit the time, and since this is a well thawed ribeye, we're going to do 16 minutes in the air fryer. I don't worry about preheating because this one doesn't require preheating, and so far I haven't had to preheat anything. That just works for me. I like not having to do extra steps if I don't have to. Sorry, I need to get all these Ziploc bags closed up. Get these off the counter before the cats find them. Because my cats are carnivores and they like to eat stuff, like red meat. So if I leave these out to de-thaw anywhere out in the open, the cats will find a corner and they'll start chewing on the edge of the bag. Okay, what did I count? It was 13 steaks, $107 divided by 13. That's something I got to figure out here in a little bit. All right, that's a good deal. So much cheaper than buying it at the supermarket. It's like you're getting free steak. That's awesome. All right, let's get the scissors picked up off the table so my cat doesn't decide to cut their claws. And meanwhile, okay, set that over there. That can go right there. I didn't make a huge mess today. Usually when I do this, I make a giant mess. I'm kind of proud of myself. Let's go in here, because I wanted to figure out the basic math. I can't do that on this phone, and I thankfully have another cell phone here where I can just break out and check. So what was it, $107 and some change. We'll just call it 107 to make it simple. Divided by 13 steaks. And how did I screw that up? Okay, I gotta clear that out. $107 divided by 13 brings me out to $8.23 per steak. Savings. I can go to the store and try to find an $8.23 steak and tell me what it looks like and how awesome it is, because chances are it's not gonna be. All right, I need to get, so I'll use a chair because I'm doing this on a live stream. Now I gotta get these put away. Now my wife and kids wanted ribeye steak tonight too, so I'm gonna be making a bunch of ribeyes later. A little teaser, I do have a whole bunch of products here ready to go to start filming for my new channel. So I have all of these products here. I have mackerel, I have chicken of the sea smoked oysters, I have smoked oysters in water to do a comparison. Another product I have is smoked flavored coho salmon, smoked trout, that's an interesting one, octopus, whoa, that's cool. What else do we have here? We have Lagos sardines. I've tried these before, amazing. Also in tomato sauce, one's in hot sauce, one's in painted sauce. I haven't done a whole lot with herring fillets on the carnivore diet, so I wanted to try these. And these videos are all going to be uploaded on my new YouTube channel that I'm just getting ready to fire up. So we're going to be doing a video, comparison type videos on canned food. So the topic will not be 100% carnivore, but it will be carnivore type stuff that I can create on the internet. And that new channel is called What You Doing. And it's not like what you doing with a G on the end. And it's already set up and ready to go, so you can't steal my channel. Haha. Anyways, so yeah, Deming's red sockeye salmon. There's a whole bunch of potentials here of things I can talk about. White crab meat from Bumblebee. Another product is mackerel in brine. I haven't done a lot with mackerel. Another product to compare with, Pacific mackerel. This one's in oil. Now we have a chicken of the sea, chub mackerel. Never heard of it before, so yeah, why not? So each one of these can potentially be its own video, but some of them are very similar, so I planned on doing some videos of comparisons and stuff like that. Hopefully that'll be fun and entertaining. Let's see, Meathead said, love them. I hated eggs before the carnivore diet. Right on. But yeah, so anyways, the new channel is literally called What You Doing. If you go to my community tab on my channel right here, I did post a little teaser about the channel we're creating. And hopefully I can actually create a channel a little bit more interesting and a channel that's more relevant to most of the world. I'm not trying to just like focus 100% on the carnivore community, carnivore diet, even though that's what I'm doing. I don't have much room in here. What am I going to do here? This is what happened yesterday. Hold on, let me turn you around. So, okay, here's my problem. I have a freezer full of crap on the bottom. Pretzels, ice cream, yuck, broccoli. I don't eat broccoli anymore. Got some French fries tucked away up there. But all of this is chuck roll that I processed yesterday in yesterday's live stream. And now I gotta figure out if I can shove this all up in here, because I only have a few bags of these, thankfully. That's the nice part about this. And then at some point I'm gonna have to break some of that chuck roll out and do some videos on that. So, alright, well, I might have enough room here, because this bag right here, the final bag, it's got the really thin cuts. So that means I have approximately 42 pounds of meat. That's 42 pounds of meat right there, because yesterday's chuck roll was 32 pounds. That ribeye that I just put in there was approximately 10 pounds. So yeah, I'm looking at just about 42 pounds, or about 5 pounds of meat, you know, minus the one that's up here in the air fryer. And we're just waiting on that one to come out to see how it turns out. Should be good. Yay. Yay, having fun. All right, so let's see here. Trying to get my house back figured out because everything's all messed up now. Chair back out of the way. Something else I might want to get ready is a plate. And I can start putting these Ziploc bags back in their cubby hole. Cutting board goes to the dog. So my dog can lick off whatever it wants to. I should probably rinse down the sink just a hair. Alright. Sink's rinsed down. And something else I might want to do is clean off this knife. Oh, the hot water wasn't on. Now I gotta turn the hot water. Thankfully I was just using the hot water just a little bit ago. Now when the hot water comes on, you really don't have to do a whole lot with these knives to clean them. I mean, you can use a little bit of soap and a sponge if you want to. But if you have hot water, you're basically just rinsing the fat off. Run it through again. I got a soapy sponge here. That'll clean off any potential bacteria. Then I can just simply rinse it off and dry it and put it away. But you always want to get all the soap off your hands and the soap off the blade. Because the last thing you want to do is start cutting into a really expensive chunk of meat and have that freaking annoying taste of soap. Now I know that's happened to me in the past, where I got some soap in there. Didn't rinse off things exactly right. Alright, let's get this dried off and put away. I mean, so the Kershaw 12-inch fillet knife definitely passed the test for what I wanted to do. Like I said, it came out of the box already sharp, really sharp. It cut the plastic packaging just like a piece of paper in a samurai sword type movie. Now we're just going to put it away in its plastic sheath, and we can head on over to the table. Okay, everything looks good. It's clean. So we got both these knives here. And we got about 7 minutes on the air fryer before that steak comes out. But all my life, I have always owned Kershaw type knives. One of my favorite knives from Kershaw was, I think it was called the Gator. The Gator, it was a folding knife. It had a nice rubber handle. I had that knife with me for so many years, and it's just this type of material that was just great to have, just to hold on to, because I mean I don't slip when I hold on to these. Not like if I'm using a kitchen knife trying to do meat or fish. My hands will just constantly slip off the handle. That's dangerous, especially when you're dealing with a seriously sharp edge like this. And this is the new one here. I mean, this thing is just fabulous. Now, one thing I haven't tested yet is the flexibility. So let's pull that out. So fillet knives require a little bit of flexibility. This one is very stiff. I don't have any flexibility at all with that. It's nothing like this one here, which is designed for filleting fish and, you know, curving and getting around corners. You see that one? That one bends considerably. So this is still going to be the best option for filleting fish, and it just works really well. But it also works for fish and cutting big slabs of meat. But the reason I purchased this one is because I wanted this curve, this natural curve right there, because that curve is important. If you're buying any type of large knife to cut and do your own butchering, you want that curve in there. It gives you a lot of control on the end cuts and the start cuts. You can just kind of push it down and just roll it out. It just rolls out. And it makes it so much easier. And I see so many expensive knives on the internet. You know, $54 is not bad for this. This one here I think is about $20-some. That's not a bad price. Two very sharp, reliable knives with a lot of grip. They come with a handy carrying case, good for taking on camping trips. I don't know if I'd be taking this one on a camping trip. I don't know what I'd use it for, because this is just versatile for me and usable here in the kitchen for cutting my larger meats. So now I have a present to give to my wife when she does her fishing trips, and she'll be thankful. Or I could leave this here in the house. That way when she comes home, if she has a bunch of unprocessed fish and her fishing knife just fricked off in the creek somewhere, she's going to have a reliable, usable knife every time she comes home. And that's great too. Oh, my stuff is just like scattered about the house. Alright, I haven't paid a whole lot of attention to the comment thread, and we're getting to that point now where I've already butchered up the ribeye steak, I put it away, I packaged it, I explained the product I have here. This is the main product we were talking about today. It's a Kershaw 12-inch fillet knife. Works great for bulk meat. You know, $54 is a great deal. It's got a very safe carrying case. The affiliate link is in the description section if you want to check it out. It is kind of close to a machete. You know, the size of this is pretty big. But like for that chuck roll I had yesterday, this other fillet knife did well. This is what I use for the chuck roll. I wish this one had arrived a day sooner. I would have totally been able to do all kinds of things to that chuck roll if I had this knife here. For one, it's stiffer, and it's still got the same great handle, the same handling, but it just would have worked really well for cutting up that chuck roll yesterday. But let's see, I need to invest in some decent knives. Knives are incredibly important. You know, if you go onto Amazon and you're looking for just kitchen knives, I would say use caution when buying knives on Amazon, especially if they have like funny looking coatings or designs on the handle. I can show you some of mine that I bought off of Amazon. It's been a few years, but I've had a lot of problems with these knives. Let's see, get some out. Just for example, because like I said, knives are super important to talk about, you know, when it comes to kitchen safety. Now, I've had these knives for a while. These are the steak knives that I have. I do not use these because they have these weird serrated edges. It just shreds things. It doesn't work. You don't want to buy any type of kitchen knives. These are just the steak knives. So if you buy a steak knife, you want them to have a nice straight edge. But now, this is just an average paring knife. And the problem I've been having with these knives I've been purchasing off of Amazon, look at the coating there. So it's all peeling off. It's not put on very well. Let's see, these are Marston. Yeah, Marston knife. I don't know the metal they're made out of. They try to put these weird little designs in here. Try to avoid stuff like that. Now, these handles also, you know, this is stuff I wasn't thinking of when I purchased the knife. These handles are hollow. And these are hollow. That's a really annoying sound, probably. But now this is one of my favorite knives that I have in that, but look at the handle. These little bits fall off. I don't know what this stuff is. You know, this coating. I don't know what this stuff is. It's probably getting in my food. It's not what I want. So when I shop for knives now, you know, I'm looking for a solid handle. You know, this is a solid handle, and I'm pretty sure if I were to break down how they manufactured this, the blade probably runs all the way through, because it definitely feels like the blade runs all the way through. So when you're purchasing a knife off the internet, you're looking for the rivets, and you're hoping to God they're not just fake rivets and just put on there for show. Because if the knife is only held in with a small little piece right here, that knife's not safe to use, because if you're putting any pressure on it, it can actually break and come apart like that. And then you have a sharp blade to consider, might be flying in your face. You don't want that. So you're looking for the whole blade to run down through the handle, and then the handle to be riveted on in 3 key spots. And the 3 spots is just to help, you know, for the push down or pull pressure, however you want to do it. But some knives, like hunting knives, you know, they have to be very specific, because you're doing whacking with them. You're hitting stuff. You know, you're trying to chop wood. You're trying to cut logs, cut down tree branches and stuff. That's about the only use I have for these. So these here I could take out and I could do a little pruning on a tree. You know, just cut off the tree branches, because that's all that is. That's a saw. When you're cutting food, fruits, vegetables, anything, last thing you want is to saw anything you're doing. I just heard the beep. That means the ribeye steak is done and we can go check it out. Alright. We're going to put these knives away. Put them back. Put them up in there. My air fryer is going through the cooling stage right now. But okay, back to my main point about knives. We're going to talk about these when we sit down at the table. These are some basic hunting knives, and they go over the same basic principles I was talking about when it comes to safety. And it also comes to, you know, going out and doing stuff, trying to have some fun and not slice your fingers off. So you got to be careful. So, all right, we got space here. There we go. I need a plate, and I'm making a racket. There's my plate. Shut you down. Wow! Listen to that. Oh yeah, that looks beautiful, man. That's a good looking steak there. All right, I need something. There we go. Waka waka. Tongs. But yeah, check out how this air fryer cooked up that steak. Doesn't that look amazing? That crust is amazing. It feels really super juicy. We're gonna piss that off in the corner for now. Now I just need to find a fork, and we can head on over to the kitchen table with our freshly cut ribeye steak. So good, so good. This carnivore lifestyle is just foolishly fun. I mean, because I don't get it why more people aren't doing it. Maybe they're just scared, like I was when I started. I was terrified when I started. I was like, you can't just eat meat. You can't just eat fatty meat. You can't just eat a lot of eggs or a bunch of bacon. But all right, these are Uncle Henry's knives, and these are skinning knives. I like this little one here is really nice. And the reason I like it is super sharp. So super sharp. It's got these little ridges right here. So when you're doing detailed type cutting, like around bones, so I think this is technically called a boning knife. But as you see here, the metal from the blade all the way runs down through, all the way through. Now here are the rivets. So you got all these rivets here. This is just a pretty stamp. It does not run all the way through. So this knife has 2 rivets. I'm not sure the material that this is made from, but the material doesn't matter as long as you have solid rivet points. That way I can put a lot of pressure on this, but it's like a boning knife. So if you're boning like a bird or a piece of chicken, it just helps you get in those little detail spots, and it's very versatile in your hand, but it cuts through meat amazing. I have not yet once sharpened this knife since I bought it, and it's just, whoop, oh, little tiny extra cut. That's it, boom. Your knife cut through the meat. Oh, halal ribeye from New Zealand. So amazing. There we go. I'm gonna choke on the internet. Okay, so this is a skinning knife. This is the other knife in the package. Again, the knife is solid all the way through the blade. It's got a couple of key rivet points, and it's just super nice, and it handles well. So if you're looking to skin any wild game, you just simply put it in the flesh a little bit, get it started. You might have to start it with this edge just to poke a hole, and then once you get that in there, you can just slide it right back and it'll skin whatever you're trying to skin. That's the whole point of this nice little handy curve, and there's a sharp edge in there too. You know, it's totally meant for doing that. I don't have any paper that's appropriate to try it on, but super sharp, super nice, good knives. So yeah, it's just something to look for when you're buying your own knives, especially if you're looking for kitchen knives. You know, do some research. You might spend an extra $20-$30 for some halfway decent kitchen knives. You know, avoid those cheap Amazon knives, you see. Just avoid them, because you're going to get annoyed like I did. It's like, why did I even buy these? Let's see. William McCartney says, Richard, I once found a set of case knives in the trash. Wow, in the trash. Awesome. That's a good find. I'd clean them up at a house, and they were made in the 50s. My ex-father-in-law was a collector, has a huge collection of case and queen. Wow. Dude, William, that is an amazing find right there. I tell you what. I would have so refurbished those things, cleaned them up, disinfected them, whatever. I'd probably be using them today if I had those. You know, people just underestimate the quality of craftsmanship that used to go into a lot of this old stuff that we had. John, is the steak the halal grass-fed beef? Yes, it is. It is. We figured it out. So it's approximately $8 and some change per steak. I got 13 steaks out of it. I had approximately a 10-pound chunk of ribeye meat. And yeah, each steak was about $8 and some change. The whole chunk of ribeye was about $100. $107 to be exact. But this is awesome meat. I mean, this is what been one of my favorite ribeye steak go-tos. Where it's just, man, it's amazing. Oh, it is so juicy, guys. So this one here I cooked in the air fryer at about 400 degrees for 16 minutes. And the reason I did it that way is because I like a rare to medium rare steak. I like a little bit of red. Actually, I typically like a lot of red. But when you're cooking with an air fryer, you just got to figure out your own air fryer. How long to cook things for is relative to brand. And sometimes the part of the world you're in, too, might have something to do with cook times. You know, humidity, elevation, stuff like that. You just got to figure out, mess around with your air fryer until you get it to dial in perfect steaks that you ever want. Yeah, it's like all the natural juice you could ever want. And since it's made, you know, without a bunch of stuff, it's just garlic salt for seasoning on all sides, a dash of cayenne pepper, so it does have that little bit of kick going on there. That way I'm not having to use any sauces. I can still get that little bit of spice. I don't use regular black pepper because black pepper screws up my digestive system, and it has for many other people, so removing that might be a thing. I mean, this is like meat candy. What is it called again? This part here, the spinelli. I don't know what it's called. I don't know. I'm not up on my meat lingo. I learned what it was called. I didn't forget what it was called for a long time until I actually started doing a live stream again, and I was like, I can't remember what this is called. Oh, Jill, no, I don't. That's the one thing I like about that air fryer is I don't have to flip it at all. I have flipped it just to see, but this is the bottom side here. Totally acceptable, you know, versus the top side. Look at that thing just dripping juice. That is just so amazing. So soft and tender. But I am a simple guy. You know, I like my food just to be quick, easy, you know, not a whole lot of maintenance, not a whole lot of stress when I get out of work. I just want to come home, throw it in the air fryer, you know, let it sit for however long it takes. If it's a frozen steak, if I should take this same steak and put it in the air fryer, frozen straight out of the freezer, I'd cook it for approximately 20 to 24 minutes. And I get a similar product to this right here. Bye, son. Love you.
Love you.
Have a good day at work. But since this one was already thawed out and I just butchered it, you know, moments ago, 16 minutes was plenty to give it, you know, that look and that texture and that nice juice. Guys, you see the juice on the plate? I mean, this is not blood. This is steak juice mixed with salt and cayenne pepper that naturally just came out of the steak. And if you rub your steak around it, it's really delicious. It's also got a little bit of fat mixed in there. Yeah, that's what I got. Halal grass-fed from New Zealand. But yeah, these knives, man. This one in particular, I was so impressed with how this one handled. It made my job so much easier just cutting it up. I mean, I felt I had like 100% more control. And I already thought I had a lot of control using the regular fillet knife. And this did provide me a lot more control than using a regular kitchen knife. But the upgrade, completely worth the money. Yeah, about $54 for 12-inch carving knife, cutting knife, butcher type knife. So if you're into cutting massive slabs of meat, this is a great deal. a great deal. Oh, I just noticed that the handle on here is all these, you know, it's just the letter K, you know, for Kershaw. That's pretty cool. I've never looked at it that closely before. That's pretty interesting. Mm. What is your suggestions for an everyday carrying knife? I personally liked the Gerber Gator. I loved it. It had a slightly serrated edge. I don't have one anymore. That knife, I believe, got stolen, lost, or who knows. Could have broke. Actually, I don't think I ever broke a Gerber knife. The most common point on a knife to break is typically right up here at the tip, especially the ones we carry around, because if we're outside working and we pull it out of our pocket and the knife's open and it drops on the ground, this little tip tends to break. That was common on a lot of knives I had. I had old timers, I had buck knives. They lasted me many, many years, but many of them had that little broken tip, and that's just annoying. See if I can get this piece chewed up. Greetings from Ireland. Finally caught you live. Oh, very nice to see you. Let's see. Daily calories amount. Liv, do you have a minimum daily calorie amount? I've lost 70 pounds in 5 months. Amazing. Let's see. Kind of concerned about my calories, even though I don't get hungry on keto. Well, here's the thing. I stopped counting calories shortly after I ditched keto. And I still use a lot of the previous keto experience that I gained while doing keto. But with the carnivore diet, something I found out quickly, I don't have to count calories anymore. I mean, I really don't count calories. I don't count macros. I don't count proteins. I don't count none of that stuff. I just gave up on all of that. So, you know, if I had this plate set up here with this ribeye steak, I had 3 eggs on this plate, 1 or 2 reindeer sausage. That's approximately 2,500 calories right there. That's the math I came with when I was up in Nome. And that's the meals I was eating while doing the carnivore diet. But while I was eating 2,500 calories a day, I was driving a dump truck, not very physically active. So I'm sitting in a dump truck just driving for 10 to 12 hours a day going around in circles. The only time you get out of the truck is to go take bathroom breaks, and that's about it. Maybe fuel up at the end of the day type stuff. So there wasn't a lot of exercise going on there. But I was eating 2,500 calories a day, once a day at the end of the day, typically right before bedtime. And I was losing weight. I was losing weight eating that 2,500 calories a day. So I gave up on the calorie counting after that trip. I was like, counting calories is crazy. And I do understand why it's important. But some people say, you know, oh, a calorie is a calorie. It's just a unit of measurement. Well, where calories come from is important as well. And through a process of trying different things, you know, if I were to do like a regular type diet, standard American type diet, and count calories, my body's going to respond horribly to that. So if I'm only eating 2,000 calories of crap junk food, for instance, and you can lose weight eating crap junk food, it helps if you're active. It's hard to lose weight if you're inactive. So that's why I ditched that whole standard American diet lifestyle, and I started working towards something else, you know, fasting practices, keto, KetoVore, carnivore, whatever you want to call yourself. It's fine. But over time I learned that it's just easier to just eat fatty red meats, not count the calories anymore, because counting calories can cause stress. You get stressed out, you're not losing weight. So yeah, it's just an amazing factor. I want to eat this piece here. My cat's coming. She's going to want some. That means she's all poised and ready. I got a little fatty chunk here. We're going to feed this little fatty chunk to the cat. Maybe she'll leave me alone. Come here. You're in front of everybody. And you know it. I just dripped that on my knife. I'm going to have to clean my knife again. Go ahead, take it and go away. Go. Come on. Take it off of there. All right, now do your thing. Goodbye. I love you. Yeah, that's my cat, Molly. She loves the little tiny, you know, white fat trimmings. Oh, wow, North Korea. No way. You're not in North Korea prison camp. That's so funny. It's not funny. But it's funny, but not funny. The majority of American food is junk there. I totally agree with you. It's very sad when I walk around the stores now and I look at stuff. And then I watch very unhealthy people walking around shopping carts just full of tons and tons and tons of feel-good type food. And even some somewhat healthy people, you can see they got it kind of figured out. You know, they're exercising every day, but some of their food choices are holding them back. Oh, I forgot to go to the store and buy stuff for carnivore ice cream. I was so in the mood for that yesterday. And I went to Walmart this morning to hopefully have, you know, some stuff ready for my upcoming videos for the new channel. And I have that piled over here. But I need to get that started. I need to get that started pretty soon today. Oh, that, what is it called? The spinalis that runs around the top part of the ribeye. That is so amazing on this halal New Zealand bean beef. It's so tender. So much juice, fat, and flavor. I would totally share with you guys if I could. Well, the problem with the whole overly processed food type industry is it's like cancer. It's covering the entire globe now. You know, people in places like Japan are suddenly becoming morbidly obese, more diabetic, having heart issues. I mean, it's all because of what's available in the random vending machine. They have some crazy vending machines over there. You know, all those instant noodles, man, most of them are not good for you. There's a very few. I don't know if they sell good noodles, you know, healthier type noodles in those vending machines. But there's so many vending machine options over there. And one thing I learned here in the United States is our vending machines have little garbage inside them. People hit them up every day at lunchtime. Most of the food is overly processed crap that we don't need to eat. About the healthiest item I think I've been able to identify in American vending machines is typically the beef and cheese. Those sticks. Most people don't buy those. That's about the only thing that doesn't sell out in those vending machines. The cheese danishes will sell out quick. Little Debbie snack cakes are sold out. Sometimes they'll put these crazy sandwiches in there, but the sandwiches, who knows how long they've been sitting in there. I'm sorry, I just can't trust sandwich meat that's been sitting in a vending machine, even if I'm just going to eat the meat, because it's been sitting in there so long. And yeah, who knows if the temperature's been correct. There's nobody there to regulate it. Power goes out for a little while. Who knows? Well, it would be nice to see some changes here in this country, especially when it comes to food. They made, what was it, red dye 40? I believe that's illegal now. And so we're slowly stepping in a direction. Not sure if it's going to be the right direction or what the alternative is going to be to replace red 40. But one thing I did when I was researching, you know, vaping safety, there is no food coloring safe to vape. When it's turned into a vapor, it's overheated. And all food coloring, when overheated, turns into a carcinogenic type material. So if you're trying to be healthy, you're overheating food coloring, you're creating cancer at the same time. It's very dangerous to mix food coloring with vaping products. Pork rinds are really good, Steve. But pork rinds, you still have to flip the package around, read the package. I have found some really, really unhealthy pork rinds when shopping around for pork rinds. Now, here's some good news for anybody that lives in the United States or has a Walmart close by. You know, if you're looking for healthier pork rinds, there are some. Every single Walmart I've been to has just pork rinds salt. Every single one I've been to, I've checked them, all the ones here in Anchorage, Alaska. But they also have a whole bunch of other type of pork rinds. that have a bunch of nonsense in it. If you're trying to keep your diet clean, it is possible. And pork rinds are great for just grinding up and making bread. You know, making carnivore type bread. Just throw it in the blender. It makes like a pork rind type flour. It makes a pork rind type breadcrumb. Use that to replace your previous shake and bake type stuff. Put your own seasoning in there so you know what the heck's in there. And you're already ahead of the game. No, I did not take a shot of turmeric or ginger. It would be nice to raise your food at home. I used to raise chickens, and at the time they were overrunning me with eggs. I wish I was living in a place right now where I could have chickens. I'm really good with chickens. You know, raising them from little chicks all the way up, you know, brooding them, fixing all their problems. If they have a problem, I know what to do. I really appreciated my birds. For one, if anybody here has raised chickens, you already know that they're therapy. So if I was having a hard time at home, hard day at work, I'd just simply go out to the chicken coop, hang out with the chickens. And they would cheer me up. They're so cantankerous and fun. They run up to you and they're like, hey, what's up? And then they take off and they do weird stuff. Yeah, a lot of fun. Kind of like a spastastic cat on catnip. You're just not having to supply the catnip. Some cannot due to regulations where they live. Yeah, that's the problem. We have so many rules in this country. You know, even here in Anchorage, Alaska, I can't just set up birds right here. I mean, I could, but it wouldn't. It'd probably piss off some people. But a lot of parts of the world, you know, even out in the Midwest, you can't have poultry in your backyard. You can't have poultry in city limits type crap. So if you want to have animals like that, you got to move outside city limits or outside certain districts. Yeah, I'm not against the idea there, G Money. I just don't have. I have turmeric. I don't need it because I stopped using turmeric as a spice. Turmeric is a very, very powerful spice. Turmeric and cumin, very powerful. They're so powerful that if you were to use turmeric and cumin combined and mix it in a bowl of, like, say, noodles or anything you were making, and you feed that to a dog, it could potentially kill the dog. Alaska used to have a Hard Rock Cafe. This was when they were open. They were downtown. They're gone now. The COVID pandemic just pretty much ran everybody of any caliber out of the state because it got so severely quiet around here for a little while until people finally started to realize that it was not a big deal to go outside your house anymore. But there were people here in Alaska that were so scared of the COVID virus, and they were so, for good reason, because they were so unhealthy. They didn't want to go outside because they were afraid they were going to get sick. They didn't know what was safe to do, so then they just sat inside for like 2-3 years. Some of them sat inside for like 2 years. That's crazy. They'll never admit they did, but that's what happened. We didn't know. Our family, we didn't know what to think. I still had to go to work. I was working for the post office at the time everything happened. People at the post office were freaking out. They didn't know what to think, who was sick, who wasn't sick. Yeah, it was a ridiculous time. All right, my dog cleaned up that mess. Now, okay, a little tip trick. You see here, so this is the fat. It's already solidified in the bottom of my air fryer basket. Now, if you want to fix that and drain it out into something or reuse it, you just put it back in the air fryer for a couple of minutes. Pull it out, it'll be liquid in a couple of minutes, and you can either reuse it for something, because a lot of people drain off the beef tallow with a cheesecloth, and they can save it, put it in the fridge for later. Here in Alaska, it's pretty safe to put this stuff out on the counter We have bacon grease all year round, and butter all year round. Just sits on the counter. Never gets funky, never goes old. It always gets used at some point. Gotta pick up the cutting board. My dog's freaking out, thinking I'm gonna steal her plate. I gotta hide my knives because if I don't, they're gonna frick off and go somewhere that I don't want them to. Yeah, we're winding down the live stream, guys. I think I'm going to start filming on something for the new channel here in just a little bit. Hopefully get that started because I'm not going to be uploading videos straight away. I got to build a pretty decent amount of videos. I'm going to have them uploaded to the channel, and then I'm going to systematically start releasing them at key moments throughout the week. That way I can actually monitor the channel and see how it's going to grow. And I can make some tweaks on my end to see if I can make it grow quicker, slower, whatever. Because I seriously don't like YouTube channels that grow super fast. At least for me. Say my channel got like over 10,000 subscribers from where it is today. I would freak out. I'd be like, what am I supposed to do? How do I follow up? Because now I have, potentially 5,000 more people to entertain. And I don't know about you guys. You go into a room with like 200 people, that's a lot of people. And I talk in front of people all the time in public, and it's something I'm getting better at. My wife's kind of fascinated by it because we have these conversations with random strangers in the store, and she's like, how did you get that conversation to go in that direction when it was going so badly? And I was just explaining it to her. I said, well, I learned to kind of test people now, see where their intelligence level's at, because some people are just ignorant, and you got to let them stay ignorant. Don't try to change ignorant people, because nothing that you say in a quick conversation is going to change that. You're going to have to be a best friend, family, trusted family member for them to change their ignorance, if they have any ignorance at all. So I don't even focus on that. I just try to accept their ignorance and just divert the conversation to something more passionate. John, can you save your live streams and post that? Oh, all these live streams, Meathead, are posted. Yeah, they post immediately after. So if you ever miss one or want to just check one out, we don't typically get a whole bunch of repeat views after, unless I really build it strong in the very beginning. So like this one today, I was talking about the Kershaw knife. That was the main talking point of this live stream. Talking about the knife, sharing the fact that there's an affiliate link up top. That'll be the first thing you find when you click on the description section of this live stream. And if you haven't yet, just click the little 3 buttons above. That'll take you to a little drop-down menu, and you can like the stream. That's extremely helpful for us getting our word out. Yesterday's live, guys, that was bomb. I mean, that was like 17,000 views in under 2 hours. That was my very, very biggest live stream that I've ever done so far. And I think I handled it pretty well, even up to the end when everything started getting a little religious and going sideways. I just try to handle these things, as they come at me. I have these amazing admins in the room that help with a lot of the problem causers, people saying inappropriate things. I can't say enough about you guys. You're such a big help. LOL at ignorance. Yep. But yeah, have a wonderful day, guys. I seriously got to start working with this stuff. What do you guys think I should try first? For my, like I said, I'm going to stack these videos up. But this here, check that out. I saw that on the shelf and I was like, wow, that is kind of cool. I've never imagined like octopus. Octopus? Canned octopus. Okay, maybe that's good. This one. That was another one. I was like, whoa. Smoked trout. It's in canola oil. That's disappointing. But yeah, this channel is not about this extra channel. It's about the actual product mainly, not necessarily about the health benefits, values of everything that's in there. I might throw in my 2 cents. I'm going to try to stay somewhat neutral on that because I'm not trying to do a carnivore type channel. I'm just trying to do canned meats. Here's another one. Smoked flavored coho salmon. That's a fun one. Never had it, never tried it, didn't even know it was on the shelf until I started researching and doing some shopping around and just checking out products that I have available here in Alaska. And at some point, I want to branch out to other canned meats from around the world, maybe order some from overseas, Germany, Australia, all kinds of other places, and give those a try. Now, these are a classic favorite, great for comparison. Smoked oysters, something I like. I also have some smoked oysters from Costco. We're going to be doing a video comparison about these three brands. This one here is two similar brands. One's in oil and the other one is in water. And I think the ones that are in the pantry are in oil as well. So that should be fun. And like I said before, I don't know if everybody caught on to this early on, if you've been around here this long. So herring fillets, kipper style. I've never experimented with herring. Still carnivore relevant. Okay, I'm eating meat, canned meat. So that's the fun part about this new channel, is I'll be talking a lot about doing these, having comparison on products, similar products, trying brand new stuff. Maybe this stuff's gross, maybe it's delicious. I don't know. I might find a hidden gem somewhere in all of this stuff. But yeah, check this out. All right, mackerel. It's got some weird, is that lemons? No, that's olive. That's olives. I thought that was lemons. That's funny. Royal fillets, mackerel in olive oil, skinless and boneless. I mean, yeah, if you guys are interested in what I'm going to be doing with this stuff, you can definitely check out the new channel. It's called What You Doing. I'm going to have to come up, going to have to get the link and start putting it in my description section, or I can attach the link to that channel to this channel too. That way it can kind of cross-reference back and forth. But it takes a while to build a YouTube channel, guys. It also takes a while to get the following up. Because I'm hoping to reach a whole lot more people from around the world, because that's one thing I love about YouTube is the reach. I can just reach out and all of a sudden I could be potentially talking to somebody in Korea. Typically South Korea is more logical. North Korea, not so much. They got it kind of locked down. But let's see. Cowgirl Pacific mackerel. It's in natural oil, and it says in its natural oil packed in water. That got me a little confused. Have not tried these. Another fun product. It might be gross. That's a heavy can. There's a lot of weight in here. Ooh. It says 15 ounces. That's a lot of little fishies I might not like. So we're going to have to try it out. What else do we have? Bumblebee, white crab meat. Gonna check that out. I've never had it. So yeah, that's the fun part. You know, I can do videos. Each one of these cans is potentially a video opportunity for me. Sometimes 2 or 3 of these cans might be in one video, and I'll be talking about the comparisons. I got a good friend here on the internet. She was kind enough to let me see her channel, and I learned so much. I learned so much, and I watched her channel, and I was like, that is ingenious. That is a great way to reach out to people outside of this niche. And great idea. Great idea. So we're going to go with that. Bumblebee, white crab meat. It just sounds good. I don't know if it's good, because if you've ever had canned clams, although I will probably try those, and maybe I'll puke on the video. I don't know. I have no idea. What was this one? Oh, this is the Deming's Red Sockeye Salmon, Wild Alaskan Cod. I can do a whole playlist just on Alaska canned seafood, because there's so many options. There's so many distributors, and they're all, I don't have to invest hundreds of dollars to get these videos to run. Let's see, Pampa mackerel in brine. Don't know what's in the can. There's a lot of slosh in there. That could be a fun one too. And I can do live streams on that channel just the same. You know, I can do videos, I can do live streams. I've been getting great at live. YouTube is actually pushing me to do more live streams. So, and I know this because they keep sending me emails. Hey, try this in your next live stream. Your live streams are doing pretty good. Like, yes, thank you. I appreciate that. Don't pressure me. Chicken of the sea, wild caught chub mackerel. Weird product. Okay. Haven't tried this either. That's fun. I don't know if I'm going to like this or not. Chub mackerel. But here's the thing. When the picture on the front just throws me off, because it's like they put these little fishies on top of like pasta. Last place I would think of putting fish. But we'll see. We'll see how that one is. These two are pretty good. And I already have some regular sardines to film as well in the other room. So I should be able to plop together 4 or 5 videos relatively quickly. and hopefully get a new channel going that reaches a lot further than just talking about carnivore diet and my health. And also will give me a new way of creating stuff. And it doesn't have to be right here on this channel, even though this channel is established. But okay, the fun of this, it triples my workload. So I'm still going to be doing my weight loss updates on this channel. I'm still going to be doing live streams on this channel. So it triples my workload there. And I only get so many days off a week. So Saturday or Sunday are the only 2 days I could potentially have off unless we have a random snow day. So a random weather event that happens here. You just never know. So I'm like really tied down to working my regular job. I don't focus much on YouTube when I'm working my regular job. I have just recently started uploading short videos of my carnivore meals. And when I'm doing the live streams, I'm not able to do a short video of what meal I'm eating at that time. So that sucks, but that's okay. But yeah, just trying to stay relevant here on the platform, guys. Let's see. Do you eat a lot of fish your wife catches? That's a funny thing. So since I started the carnivore diet, I don't crave salmon as much as I used to. I used to have a strong craving for salmon, but it was obviously something I was missing at that point. You know, there was something that's in the salmon that I was missing. I take fish oil supplements that helps cover a lot of the basics that I would have missed in fish, and since I take it regularly, that cuts the urges. And also, since I've been putting iodine in my electrolyte mix in the morning, that also covers the whole craving I had for shrimp. So shrimp naturally produce iodine, and it's a great, easy way to get iodine into your diet without having to take a supplement is by eating shellfish. But not everybody can eat shellfish. Chub, ooh, fish food. Yeah, chub, weird. I don't know. I don't even know what chub means when it comes to, because normally I think of a chub, I think of a big tube of beef. That's typically what a chub is that I know. So I don't know what that is. And I'm sorry, everything's backwards. But that's, they don't give me the option to like mirror image. I wish they gave me that. YouTube, if you're listening, you listen to everything I say. So yeah, give us the option to mirror the screen so words read right and I can see what my commenters are saying so it doesn't annoy people. That drives me, it annoys me that everything's backwards. Let's see, chew, meathead. Are you confusing chub with chum? Possibly. Yeah, chum is gross. We do not eat chum here. I haven't even considered chum to even be something to go on the smoker. It's one of those really, really soft, fleshy fish, really soft. So if you catch a chum, you can literally pick up the whole fish and kind of like your whole finger can go right through the entire fish. Not very good. Good for dog food. Good for dog food. Oh, you got fat thumbs today. That's what's going on. That's all right. Yeah, those little buttons are hard. Doesn't matter how much weight you lose. You don't get better at typing on these phones. Even though the screen's gotten a whole lot bigger and the button presses have gotten bigger, I still can't. Yeah, I still can't type very well. So if I mistype a comment or email, I email back and forth with Jill and Meathead all the time. But if I misspell something, it's just me hitting the wrong buttons or something. Predictive text is horrible. Don't use it. Predictive text is bad, and also the voice to text is trash. I mean, I've still never had a very good thread of voice to text. Some people they're good at it, but if you screw up like one little pronunciation, it produces gibberish, and then the whole conversation goes weird because you don't know what you said, you know, in the last two sentences. All right, guys, I got to get to work, man. I am like pressed for time. My wife's out working. I have quiet time in the house. I have a mess behind me. All right, guys, God bless. If you guys want to learn anything about how I've been losing weight for just about the last 2 years with the carnivore diet, keto, fasting, that's basically what I talk about here on the internet. So just be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel. That would be fantastic and very helpful for my cause in trying to help people lose weight with little to no exercise. I don't care if you're in a wheelchair, you're not doing anything. It is totally possible for anybody to lose weight. And, you know, God's got our back. All we got to do is trust in Him, follow the journey, let Him humble us through the journey, and things just naturally work for you. I've lost over 174 pounds in under 2 years' time. I hope to have that next even 200 pounds of weight loss done before May of this year. That'll be my 2-year weight loss anniversary, and I'm getting there, guys. I'm getting there. This week was unexpected weight loss. I had no idea I was going to lose weight this week because I wasn't doing anything in particular besides just eating my food that I normally eat every week. So, I mean, that's just do the diet. Do the diet like I explain it, and everything just works. I mean, it just works. How else can I explain that? Simple. Truck drivers can do this. And there are truck drivers here that figure this out, and they're doing it. Some of them were doing it before I was doing it, but they just weren't sharing their experience out here on the internet. Show us your chicken coop. I don't have one. I wish I had a chicken coop. I used to have one when I was living in the valley, but I live in the city now. I live in a trailer park, very small lots. So yeah. Brand, blade, thinness. I'm not sure what you're talking about. So the brand of the knife I was talking about earlier was the Kershaw 12-inch fillet knife. There is an affiliate link in the description section. You click the 3 dots and it might take you to where you need to go to find that information out. But it's definitely in there. I believe the price on Amazon was about $54. And if you guys are buying it through the affiliate link, you might actually be able to get it cheaper, because usually when I use my links and I click on them after the fact, I find out it provides a cheaper value to you guys. So that might be a possibility there. But unfortunately, I don't have any discount codes. I wish I did. But yeah, the Kershaw fillet knife, 12-inch fillet knife, it's really not I don't know why they call it a fillet knife, because it doesn't bend. It doesn't bend. Now, I have a fillet knife. I use that for a while, but this new knife gives me so much more control when butchering up big slabs of beef. And that's the reason I bought it. Japanese. Nice. Very nice. Yeah, that's where Dave Mack is from. He lives in Japan. I did an interview on Dave Mack's channel. I don't talk about that a lot, and I probably should help promote that video for him. But I did an interview about my weight loss with Dave Mack. The interview went well. And Dave's an incredible guy. He does great interviews. He makes you feel comfortable. If you've had any success on the carnivore diet, he would love to hear from people. Anybody. It doesn't matter who you are. And you just set up a live stream with your phone or your computer and just talk about the benefits you've experienced when doing the carnivore diet, because I didn't believe this stuff was true. I did not. I didn't think I'd be losing weight, losing inches around the midsection. I didn't think any of that was going to happen because I've tried every single diet in the past and none of them worked. Let's see. I can show you my fillet knife. I just put it back. I probably should have just kept it on the table, but I put it way over here. I hide them in the corner. For one, they're extremely sharp and dangerous, so I try to keep them up anyways. But yeah, this one here, this is the one I was using to butcher with today. This is the Kershaw 12-inch fillet knife. Talk a little bit about it. Product made by Kershaw. It's about 8.8 ounces, I believe. And it's got this nice curve. And the reason I like buying knives like this is it comes with this really nice protective sheath. Now, when you buy a lot of these really expensive, like we're talking $300-400 knives, they send you a knife in a fancy box. Okay? What am I going to store it in if I don't just store it in the fancy box? That annoys me. Why would you charge somebody $200-300 for an amazing knife and not have a safe way to put it away? So this thing here, it's big. It looks like a machete. But the reason why I bought this knife is because of the shape of the overall knife. And I got some stuff on it. I want to wipe that off. I'm not sure what that is. But yeah, this is super sharp. Right out of the package, it was ready to go. I mean, it was like a fast running sports car. I slid right through the packaging that the meat was packaged in, just one easy glide, and it was surprising me. It just kept going and going and going. I thought it was going to catch on something hard at some point, but it just kept slicing right through it. I mean, it was crazy. I don't know if I could cut through this. I wonder if it will. No, probably not. This is just a tissue. Nope. Oh, it tried to catch. Nope, not going to get the tissue. It might have gone through a piece of paper if I could find a piece of paper here worth cutting. I don't know. That's all my kids' stuff. I can't cut that up. So we're not going to try that. But it's got the nice rubber handle. Now, my price on Amazon was about $54 for this knife. Well worth it for a good quality sharp knife. handle is rubber. I don't lose grip. Super fun. Now the other knife I have here, which was my previous knife, and this is the one replacing that knife for cutting large chunks of beef. This is about a 10 or 11 inch fillet knife, and it's an actual fillet knife. Equal qualities to this knife. It's got a really nice blade made by Kershaw as well. Comes with the safety protective cover, but this is definitely for cutting fish, so it's got a really nice bendy blade. This other one does not bend as well. It doesn't bend at all. But this has a really nice blade, gets you right up underneath the fish skin or cutting through the ribs. Yeah, good quality stuff there. All right, guys, I got a dip here. And yeah, totally. Hey, thanks for showing up there. 77 people watching. Please hit the like button. That would be great. Not necessary. It's great, though. I love it when people hit the like button. That makes me feel better. If you want to make a fat guy living in Alaska that's trying to lose weight feel better and continue to lose weight, hit the like button. Did that hit you in the feelers? Probably not. You're all laughing at me. It's probably because I'm bald. If I wasn't so bald. Should I wear a wig? No, I'm not going to do that. That was a really bad thing to say. Because now someone's going to challenge me and I'm going to accept it. What do you use to sharpen them? Well, I got two sharpeners. One that's just a cheap regular sharpener. Comes in the cheap old Amazon butcher block. But I haven't, this is a brand new knife, so I haven't had to sharpen it. This one right here, I only sharpen it just prior to cutting meat. And I just use a regular type sharpener you find in a butcher block. I do have another sharpener, which has got ceramic edges in there. It's kind of V-shaped, so you can just slide it through like that. And I use that one if I should happen to damage the edge of the blade and get a nick in it. So if I get a nick, I'm going to run it through that several times to try to get that nick out of there. Because that nick does create a problem when you're trying to cut meats. Let's see. Just means you're not shallow. Nothing wrong with follicle changes. No, there isn't. I laugh at it all the time. I was so happy when Vin Diesel came to the scene in Fast and the Furious. That was the first time I ever saw Vin Diesel. He's a pretty handsome bald guy. He's definitely bald, but he is the one that really changed the outlook on bald people, because now all of a sudden this muscly Vin Diesel dude became cool. Everybody thought he was awesome, so everybody started shaving their head. It was like people were just shaving their head left and right to be more like Vin Diesel. Well, I wasn't going that far. I still had some hair, but I do appreciate the fact that he made bald people look kind of cool. And some other people, other famous actors, they started going bald too. And again, that made us old guys like me now feel a whole lot better, because now it's just more socially acceptable. I don't have to worry about doing stupid stuff like trying to get Rogaine that doesn't work or trying to get hair transplants, because I don't care. I'm not that sensitive where I I need a lot of hair for my job or to look right and get a date. No, don't need none of that. There's a lot of women out there that love bald men. Trust me, there's a lot. Lots. I say Michael Jordan started the bald. Maybe he did. I don't know, but I didn't really notice the uptick in bald men, kind of everywhere until after Vin Diesel started that in that show. I was like so surprised, because then all of a sudden I saw it, but it might have been, that I just noticed Vin Diesel at that time, come to the stage and then do his thing. And it's kind of like driving a car. If you drive like a Dodge pickup, that's all you're going to see now is Dodge pickups. So maybe he was like theoretically the car that I noticed, and then all of a sudden everybody after that just kind of resembled him. Have you tried those electric sharpeners? No, I have not tried electric sharpeners. I really wouldn't even go down that road because they're so unnecessary. I mean, some people like them, but I don't really need anything with electricity to sharpen a knife. You just hold the angle correctly, and I've been sharpening knives since I was a child. When I was about 7, 8 years old, I think was the first time I got a knife. And we all had this little sharpening stone. We just put a little dab of water on there, just a little bit of moisture, and we just sharpened our knives. And I just sit there in the garage whittling wood. This was back when kids would actually have pocket knives and whittle wood. In today's age, most kids don't even have a knife. They're scared to have a knife because they might accidentally walk into school. Well, we all had knives when I was in school. Nobody was stabbing one another, so I guess that says a lot. And we were a lot more reckless and careless back when I was a kid. You know, these kids now, you know, they freak out. They see a knife, they're like, oh, just like when they see a gun, they just think, oh, gun's scary. It's like, really? Who put that thought process in your head that a gun is scary? I see a gun and I'm like, oh, cool. Let me check that out. But yeah, I know better than a touch. It's just one of those things. Women like men who feel confident with themselves. That is a true fact right there. So I had a way of, when I was younger, we're going to go down personal memory lane here, which is not something I normally talk about. But I had a way of picking up women that worked 100% of the time. Not necessarily the right women. Okay, keep that in mind. We're talking about women at the bar. I had a process of, I would get to the bar early. This worked 100% of the time, too. I get to the bar early before everybody started showing up. I would pick a table right by the in line of the door, and I would just sit. I might have a drink, might have a soda, didn't matter. I didn't have to drink alcohol to pick up chicks. I would just sit there. While everything's going on, I can see the doorway. The women walk in. I am the first guy they see, just sitting alone at that table. Automatically, that creates curiosity. That makes them feel comfortable because I'm the first person they saw as they walked into the bar. Now, they're doing whatever they're doing in their social aspects. And if they're lonely or broken or have just random curiosity, the only person that comes to mind is that first person they saw as they walked into the door. And they're going to want to know what I'm doing there, why I'm sitting all by myself. And here comes the conversation aspect. And then we just simply start talking small talk. And there goes the rest of the night. Every time, 100% of the time it worked. And I see people all the time. They're struggling to find a date. They're just struggling to, hook up with people sometimes. And I'm just like, wow, it's so easy. Just stop trying. I never had to approach people. They came to me. Like my ex-wife, she came to me. I never went chasing her. She came to me. Let's see. Going to eat your cake. Yeah. Let's see. I don't know what that means, Taylor. Do a ghost. I don't know what that means. Kitty. Let's see. Cat eating your food. Cat's eating my food in the back. Are you kidding? No, there's nothing out. There's no food back there. Sometimes that would have been true. So if I was thawing meat, yeah, absolutely. My cat would have climbed up there and started chewing on it. Or if I was like putting meat in packages and just leaving it on the counter. My cat Molly over here, she's famous for that, getting at it. Well, that cake is not mine back here. That was my daughter's cake. She had a birthday party yesterday. Cat looking in the box. That's a possibility there. All right, guys, I have to get started on working on this mess of stuff over here. See if I can come up with something interesting. And then, because it doesn't matter what I post for my first 5 to 10 videos. I mean, if I can get, even 100 to 200 views on a recently uploaded video on a new channel, I would be very, very fortunate. But because that's just not how it works. I don't have enough. I'd have to have enough content for YouTube to circulate it in order for it to suggest it. So the only way videos take off, and go viral is just accidentally at the very get-go. So I'm going to give it a try. We're going to see how it goes. But all right. Hey, thank you for saying happy birthday to my daughter there, Lori. We appreciate that. Can we see your cat? Which one do you want to see? I have several. Okay. We have Molly over there. That is my gray bear. And over there behind the light, that is Dusty. I don't know where the other one's at. It fricked off in a corner somewhere. But, okay. I need to buy a better light. I need a better ring light. Something that's easier for me to adjust. That is a very cheap, inexpensive light. I bought that when I first started creating content and still haven't quite figured it out. But, yeah. All right, thank you, Lori. I appreciate you saying that. Victoria, found you today and sub. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Also, check out what you're doing. I'm definitely going to start figuring out how to get a link somewhere so people can easily connect with that channel too. I'm going to start creating that content right after I gotta get off of here, guys. I love you guys. I love the interactions and live streams. I'll be able to do live streams on the other channel just the same. It's just the topics are going to be different. We're going to be trying out new different canned meats, canned fish, canned everything. Sometimes I was also looking at packaged meat because some of these meats come in these different packages, you know, snack packs and stuff like that. I wanted to try some of these other options because I was blown away by the options that are out there. So like everything could be a video, and I have endless opportunities, and it's really inexpensive to do this. So that's why I want to do this new channel, and I'm excited to get started. So all right, God bless every single one of you. Thank you for being here. Thank you so much to all the admins. You're amazing. I love you guys. Kippered herring. I don't know about that. Which one should I start first? Kippered herring? It doesn't matter. Maybe I'll start with something just average because those videos are going to suck. I want the really cool, intriguing stuff to somewhat have a chance because they're super cool stuff. Or maybe I can just do a repeat video. That's, I've done this for so long now. I've been on YouTube for over 2 years. I just don't care about being embarrassed anymore because I've embarrassed myself as it is by just being 435 pounds and starting a YouTube channel. All right, that was terrifying. It's so terrifying. All right, guys, I love y'all. We'll see you in the next one, okay? Thanks for being here. Doop. Ah, there it is. Doop.